see it. What have you found is the best way to secure a monitor like that? Would it be like a tripod or an easel? Or?
You know, I've never attempted that. You know, we actually I just use a guitar stand.
What?
A guitar stand.
But it would be top heavy. You know, really
it's my daughter.
Easy to follow.
Yeah, there are people that actually do use like a tripod setup, but I have no idea what they use. They did all the research on their own and they figured it out. So I don't know. It's a very good question.
Are there artists here at ISCA that do that I could talk to?
I know of, no, unfortunately.
Would that be a question? Sorry for the follow-up question, but would that be a question that you could post on the website to the members?
It actually has been posted on our Facebook group, which I urge you all to participate in. There was a question raised by Robert Bauer about how to prop up a monitor. And what he devised was some sort of mount that was about, I want to say 6 feet high, like, you know, just eye level. And he made it work based off of that conversation. He did post photos as well. The cool thing about our Facebook group is we do have a search panel on it. I believe it's on the top right underneath the banner. If you type in blah blah blah, you're going to get a post from that. Okay. There's lots of blah 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 posts, by the way. I want to make that very clear.
I researched those TV stands range anywhere from 50 to 1,000, depending on the size of the TV you're on. Most of them average about 400 or 500. I forget the actual weight, but you can just put in portable TV stands, and a whole bunch behind them. You want to buy the actual thing.
Thank you, Bruce. All right. Excuse me?
Are you using a TV for your portable monitor?
Yeah, most of us use a 32-inch like LCD or LED TV. Yeah.
Oh, accusing me of stealing.
We fly with these things too, so we really have to like pack them well. That's a really nice template too, Dex.
Thanks.
Are you ready to rock?
I'm ready to roll.
So let's get another gentleman here. Who is? I'll tell you what. First person in that chair gets to get drawn. Someone better move. Someone better move. Someone better move. Oh, hey, don't break the projector, guys. Get out of here.
All right.
Come on.
Good job. Good job. What's your name, young man? Shaheen? What's up, Shaheen?
All right, so Dex, are you drawing in Photoshop here, Adobe Photoshop?
Yes, that is correct. I am doing Adobe Photoshop. I pay $10 a month to use their property.
Yeah, Dex, come on, you got a lot of voice.
I pay $10. That's awesome. Do you want the
Adobe's got a subscription service now, guys. If you're ever interested in, not blowing $600 on the program, you can actually sign up for an Adobe profile, and you can download programs and just pay a monthly fee. And you will always have the most up-to-date version of that program. So me, for example, I downloaded Photoshop. I pay $20 a month, and I will always have the most up-to-date version of Photoshop. I won't ever have to buy a new version again. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. No, not at all. It just has to be connected to the internet to update.
Beautiful. So, like Salah was saying, on Photoshop.
Hey, can we keep it down a little bit, guys? Dexter's trying to.
Dexter, can you explain your layers over there, the presets?
Yeah, it's if you went to Joe Bloom's demonstration, it's very similar to what he does, except they're all preset there. I have a base layer where I'm going to make a clipping mask for everything else to follow. And from there, that'll keep all my shading, highlights, hair color, etc. inside the lines. And so that helps me streamline my process pre-making everything. And I imagine that's the easiest route to go with Photoshop. What Photoshop lacks is line quality. What it makes up for is all the extra features. And I heard you can do a lot of this stuff in Mango Studio, so I'm excited to get home and try it out.
So to kind of elaborate, a clipping mask means that once you lay your base color down, once you make it a clipping mask, whatever you color inside of it will not go outside of the line.
So I typically work bigger. I'm gonna have to zoom in for this bad boy.
Excuse me, Dex, your microphone is not working.
I said I typically work bigger, so I'm gonna have to zoom in to work on this bad boy. Yeah, it's just the standard heavy line quality brush tool that's with Photoshop. Nothing special. When I first started doing this, because I've had 12 years of experience with Photoshop, it just made sense to jump into that for me. And I know a lot of little tricks here that help expedite my process for quick service.
Do you use actions too? Like Photoshop actions?
Yeah, but that's another seminar altogether.
Beautiful line follow.
Did you hear that, Dex? They love your lines.
Thanks. I love your faces. You're right, I lied. I like your jacket. Where'd you get it? Sweet.
They'll trade you.
Yeah, trade you.
Drawing your jacket.
Seems fair. I also use the same exact template for my illustrations. It's just a bigger file altogether. So that way, it keeps me really familiar with everything I have in use.
So you don't mix that up, you don't have like different options to show the client, like you have a green square or a triangle? Or
Oh, I'm sorry, not the background template, but the color layers with the clipping mask. I'll use the same exact
what are those
template.
different?
Yeah.
I like the snap line, or centers and case.
Yeah, it's so they're guided lines, but it doesn't snap to it because that would make yeah, absolutely, and that makes it really annoying when you're drawing and you have no intention of your line going to a direction.
What is the snap line, please?
You see that blue line running down the middle of the face?
Oh, okay.
So that's a guided line. In Photoshop, you have a feature where you can make your lines, if it gets anywhere near that blue line and you want to draw a straight line, your marks will snap directly to that blue line.
Oh.
But I turned that feature off, so. All right, let's get that cross stash in.
He's on an iPad.
No, that's a Cintiq.
That's, you're just going to have to see it as I do it. That would take too long to get into that, unfortunately. I only have so many minutes here. But I assure you, it's been covered here multiple times today already.
As you're going along, do you change the width of the brush?
I have not changed it once. I'm just using the pressure sensitivity. And so from here, I'll zoom out with the color. I don't really need to get in there.
The nature of the event, are people quietly looking at the drawing and are you talking with the person? Or is there-
Usually I'm spitting at them, you know, usual caricature stuff.
Well, you're talking with the person?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Talk with them, joke with them, see how their day's going. You know, it's a really awkward experience when you're getting drawn by a very hairy Jew staring at your face. So I try and put them at ease just to make sure that they don't think I'm going to take their money.
There's one thing I'm seeing that's really cool here. So if you guys look closely, when he's applying his skin tone, you see that little drop shadow that's appearing to the side? So that's an actual, it's a function of that layer that he programmed into the Photoshop.
The layer style?
That's
Yeah, so
correct.
every time he does that, there's going to be a little drop shadow.
Oh, yeah?
And you see how they're all labeled on the right side there.
So that's why you're using a mask?
That's why I'm using a mask. So right now, I'll go ahead and take all of this. Sometimes there might be changes I want to make to the drawing, so I may not do that initially, but stuff, that layer is where I put on all the accessories. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that in there right now.
It sounded way too authentic.
Yeah, I live in Seattle. It's everywhere. Let's see, we got a
So
gray
you paint
shirt.
everything a flesh tone.
What's that?
You painted everything as a base color. You used the flesh tone,
Yeah,
including the hat and the jacket. Is there a reason behind that?
yeah, because that's the layer mask, the flesh tone.
Okay.
Instead of having to color the flesh in and everything else, I just make the flesh tone the layer mask.
See how
I'll
the
change
lines
that
are-
color shortly too.
They're not going outside that base layer of flesh. It's just staying within it.
Oh, okay.
It's a clipping mask.
So you don't have to erase or correct anything that goes outside the lines.
There you go.
That's correct.
See how wild he's going right there?
Yeah.
Just-
I guess that everybody, no one works in an airbrush way. It's always this illustrative flat style.
No, there's a few people out there that absolutely, they go hog wild with their color. I can see one right now that goes hog wild with color, and it's amazing. But everyone's got a different approach. You know, there are artists that do that. I just happen to be really close to these guys. This is their particular style. Mac's style is, you know, it's like completely on the other side of the spectrum. You know what these guys do. It just depends on your artistic sensibility.
Here's a question for Noel or Dexter. How long did, when you started going digital, how long did you take to get comfortable? You know, get comfortable with your paper and how we're going. It's a different feel as much as you guys have it down to the science now. Was there a learning curve? Like how long would you say?
Oh, totally.
No, I know, but I mean, like, did you find that after a couple of events it came, or did you wait till you were perfect before you started doing things?
No, we, you know, Dexter and I actually started doing iPad caricatures almost a little over 3 years ago. And our first event was for Google, and that was kind of our dry run, and they were horrible. They were just horrible. But you know, you just develop a comfort level once you realize, okay, now I know I can do this, and I'm going to make it through the gig. But yeah, you know, I tell everyone, you know, if you want to get good at this, and you want to do this live, you need to treat every time you open up your tablet as practice. When you're at home, you know, you want to get better at doing live digital, you better just work on your routine.
So you're working on a screen layer now to do the highlights and multiply layer for the shadow or color?
Yeah, it's either screen or lighten.
It looks like it says screen, it's screen on top there.
Yeah, screen. That's correct.
Are you guessing a fast scaling any of these layers?
No, it's all pre-adjusted. So that's the drawing right there. Yeah.
Can you zoom in a bit?
All right, so that concludes our Cintiq companions. Our next artist, Mac here,
Look over an iPad.